Alright, boys, what do we got on each team? We got Team Alliance with Kreiser. I'll dot you, bro. We got Light Spat, Sejuk. I'll change it up the mog a bit. And Toria. Looks like Kreiser's up first. Where's the Soda player? That's gonna be Boomkin versus Kreiser. Soda player chaining up his playstyle a little bit. Looks like he doesn't go for Thorns. We also got Sub-Zero on Team Horde. We got Sugars coming back as Beast Mastery. Duplin as a Fury, and Dirks as a non-outlaw. I think he's a subtlety, but that'd be cool if it was subtlety. Soda player trying to find an angle on Kreiser. That's all he's trying to do, is just find an angle on him. Just gonna poke out. Just gonna pop out, get some dots rolling. We're gonna get some damage. Emily coming out for Kreiser, gonna get a conflict rate and lighting Soda player off the bat until it starts up. It's gonna be Soda player playing as a Boomkin. We are playing in Mokambala, so that's gonna be a very interesting map, with one side of the pillar being like a little bit longer. Soda player just choosing to go for a longer game. Just gonna re-heal right now for the beginner of the damage. Casbolt trying to come out, gonna get silenced, but no, that silence misses, or at least doesn't happen at the right time. The Casbolt still flies. That's gonna be a horror effect. Into another Casbolt. Emily coming down onto Soda player, trying to root him down, but it's gonna be a power shift coming in. Kreiser is just trying to get himself a setup going. Soda player is able to heal through a lot. Another stun into a Casbolt, into Fear. Soda player getting locked out completely. Is actually going to trick it out of the Fear. Bash coming into Kreiser. Can Soda player get enough damage to go for a big old Incarn? Is going to go for Incarn right now. It's going to be a lot of damage. Mally to come out onto Soda. Needs to go for some big damage. Going to go to Bear for him. With a regrowth coming out. Gonna get interrupted into the regrowth. So Kreiser could jump down on top of him. Gonna land him into a Fear. It's gonna be a full length Fear. Could load up a bunch of Casbolts. Cataclysm off that Casbolt right in front of him. Does get a rune into Soda player as well. That's gonna be Soda trying to get the hell out of there. Regrowth coming out right now. Just trying to recover health. Kreiser is gonna be able to get sub healing back right now with his, what is it, Demon Armor? I guess it's Demon Armor, right? So Leech healing you whenever he can absorb for him. And Kreiser trying to see if he can get a conflict rate onto Soda player off that. Soda's trying to get some recovery. He decided to go player up top. He's gonna get rooted out in the open. Emily coming out, just gonna go for line of sight into Kreiser, but now he's out in the open. Horror effect to a Fear. Casbolt is gonna start flying. Second Casbolt loaded up. That's gonna be double Casbolt hit on Soda player. Bear form survives. Does save him for a moment. Goes into bear form. Frenzied regeneration to follow, and that's gonna be Soda player surviving it, but it's gonna be Seeth getting interrupted, and Kreiser's back on him. Soda player needs to make a play. With another Fear, locking him out, Emily to follow. Kreiser is actually peeling back a bit. Kreiser is actually the one peeling back a bit. I guess waiting for some resources to go. That's gonna be, I think, a Cyclone. Cyclone onto the pet, and Soda player is gonna get another CS-ball slammed. Barskins ahead of it. Does have a heal if he needs to. Does have that bear heal if he needs to go for it. Couple of regrowths so he can maintain his health, maintain the game. Bash coming on to Kreiser, no chicken available. And Soda just needs to finally start getting set up, even as he tries to get his damage ramping up, as he tries to actually get Kreiser into a position where Kreiser can start taking some deeps. Just getting locked out. Back into the horror. It's a Casbolt to follow. Soda player eating the damage in bear for massive heal coming out of Soda while in bear. That's going to be Kreiser going to go for big damage right now. He's so tired of this Druid and all that healing. Does get silenced onto fire. Should be actually able to get a Casbolt running and Fears as well. Trying to maintain a range as well as an angle onto Soda player. So Kreiser is going to be doing a lot of running instead of like starting to cast and then running. Cycle coming out into Kreiser. Actually getting locked down. Soda player does get himself a regrowth or two. Is trying to run away, trying to line that Fell Hunter. The Fell Hunter is looking to interrupt him as best as he can. Soda player is getting himself to about half health. The Kreiser, again, as I was saying, is going to be running as far as he can in order to get, like, to make sure he's not getting a line of sight on his cast. He'd rather just run next to Soda, even though he could, like, try to get an immolate in, because Soda's just going to dip behind the pillar anyway. So Kreiser is always going to have to be looking for a better position at all times. Does get to lock out Soda player. With a horror effect to follow. Interfere. Trick is out of it. Bash coming on to Kreiser. Kreiser actually going for Trinket. That's going to be a big old income for Soda player as he got the big damage up and running. Casbolt coming out, but he pre-barskins into a stun. Cataclysm to follow. Wombo combo, and Kreiser's the one trying to kind of hug the pillar, hug the side. Soda player is going to get massive heals off of that damage with regrowths to follow. Maintain himself so far. Can't quite get the damage rolling. Still has Incarnation rolling for a little bit more. Does get instant caster too. Locking out Kreiser into Shadow onto that Fear. And it's Kreiser. Kreiser's actually just gonna line aside him some more. He's just line aside games all day. Subtle Play getting locked out in the open with a root. Try to go for a cycle on the pet, I guess. That's where Chrysler has him in a fear, has him locked in. Inkar still running for a little bit. Gonna land a Chaos Bolt. Not lining it. Didn't line with that Chaos Bolt. Conflict Rate to keep him out in the open. Subtle Play getting massive heals out of his emergency Druid heal. While in bear form, so he gets even more health. Maladek coming down to Subtle Play a little bit late. With an Infernal this time. Skyz is trying to finish out the game right now by loading up massive Chaos Bolts, spending the Soul Shard right now. Subtle Play actually going to go for damage right now. Back into Chrysler, back into bear form, trying to reheal. No, power shifting into travel form, getting locked out by the Shadow Fury. The pet Infernal is actually going to keep hitting him in the back. Regrows to try to come out. Is he going to be able to interrupt? It does get an interrupt. And Chrysler is meeting him on the other side of the pillar. Forcing now, it's safe to check it out. Chrysler though. Chaos Bolt's getting loaded up. It's going to be massive Chaos Bolts back to back. Subtle Play trying to see if he can do some damage. Chrysler's health is not looking that amazing either. Subtle Play needs to go for heals. Doesn't pet have an interrupt. Regrowth coming out. Is he going to turn around onto the Warlock right now? A Horror Effect coming down into a fear, into another Chaos Bolt. Is there any way Subtle Play can survive it? Bear form coming in with a berry heal. Barely survives. Barely had it. Almost had Chrysler down. 5 minutes into that duel. 6% dampening, and Sugars is up next. Guys is going to swap out the pet as Sugars is hanging out in camo. He's playing Beast Mastery. That's going to be a big Lockport coming up for Chrysler as Sugars went some big damage right now. Crows and everything. Getting Dire Basilisk out a little bit early. We're just running after Chrysler right now. Chrysler actually just might jump down. No! Dire Basilisk right to greet him right now. It's going to take big bites out of him. Gets a fear into Sugars. Another fear to follow. The pet is still walking at you. Big old bite coming out. Chrysler having to pop wall right now. The pet is going to be far into the Africa. That's going to be Chrysler getting a trick it off of that stun. Drain Life coming out. He's in a bad position. Horror Effect coming in on Sugars, but that didn't connect quite fast enough. If he only connected, he would have gotten some health off it, even at 10% dampening. And now Sugars is forced to deal with Sejuk. Is going to get him into a freezing trap. Sejuk is determined though, man. He's not going to trick it this. He's going to bide his time. He's going to wait. Sugars could go for a big old camo setup right now. Nope. Sejuk is just going to leap right on top of him. This is where the Hunter needs to find a way to deal with this warrior. Blaze Storm coming out in case Sugars got any traps or anything available. Sugars taking a lot of damage right now. Mally to follow. Sugars is going to get a heal before that Mally hits though. So that's going to be pretty good for him. That's going to be reflect for Sejuk in case Sugars decides to drop a freezing trap. And Sugars continue to run, but Sejuk is going to continue healing from the pet. Trying to get a charge in at Sugars right now. Whenever he needs to. Charge coming out right now. Sugars could throw down a freezing trap or something. Get into Storm. Throws down a trap. Is behind him. I think it was a tar trap, not a freezing trap. He'll still throw a freezing trap on top of him. Does throw it down. Does Sejuk see it? No, he actually just avoids it barely. That's going to be Sugars trying to kite him into that trap. Tricky coming out of Sejuk into a freezing trap. This is where Sugars actually can go for a big old reset. Get himself a pet heal. Sejuk somehow gets out of it. Charge coming out to Sugars into the execute range. Dodges up with a feign death for a moment. Gets a slow into Sejuk. Sejuk is actually slowed completely. He does get a big old leap. Does he get a charge into Sugars? It's going to get the pet heal rolling, and the Hunter is not out of the game just yet. Sejuk is continuing to run. Charge comes in, gonna get a massive heal off it. Charge trap coming down. Sugars doesn't have a lot to work with and does get cleaved down. He actually had Sejuk on the ropes for like a moment there. Next up is gonna be Subsy trying to go and eliminate Sejuk right now. Sejuk still has his Rage Regen. Commanding Shout still a thing. If he goes for charge heals, he might be able to do something out of it. Fury coming out. Sejuk wants to go for a slow onto Subsy. Safe to check and get a proc right now. Gonna go for massive heals early. Gets a big old charge heal off that. Continue to heal Bloodthirst while the Enraged Regen is up with 20% dampening. That's gonna be some cooldowns for Sejuk. Trying to force CDs out of Subsy. Subsy's actually gonna bail the hell out of the big old leap for Sejuk, but he can't quite catch up to the elusive monk. Gonna get hit with an incap. Vivifies coming out for the Monkus. And he's probably gonna have a Fist of Fury available for this. Stun coming down to Sejuk with a touch of death into a big old Fist of Fury wombo combo. Sejuk is going to be kind of on the ropes. Fear coming out. It's going to be trinket out of the mug. Sejuk barely has health left, but down he goes. Barely had anything. I was thinking maybe if he could run away and then charge right back into him, he could maybe do something. But there it is. What's up, guys? Want to start a hill? What's up, Corey? How you doing, man? It's a Corey. No, Corey. Oh, both Corys can stay, and that Sub's getting blasted right now. Well, chat up with the chat. Dirk's Bine is playing what looks like, I want to say Subtlety, maybe Assassination. We'll see in a bit. We'll see in a bit. Maybe he's a sass. He's gonna get some saps. No, he's playing Subtlety. He is gonna be a full stun to Light Path, trick us out of immediately, and Dirk's Bine is trying to get some damage into the Pally. Actually sinking a lot of damage into the Pally back to back. Lots of Shadow Strikes, and it looks like he might be running out of damage very, very soon. He's gonna get another Shadow Step in there just to keep up with the Pally. That's gonna be Shield of Vengeance coming down. Could Cloak of Shadows. It is gonna Cloak of Shadows pocket right now. Dirksbind just trying to build calm points off of Lightspath's touch coming down. Lightspath playing very defensive. Could take out Dirksbind though. It's still holy damage coming in. Dirksbind decided, you know what, I'm not going to trick it. No, couldn't quite get a vanish off that. Decided, you know what? He's not going to go for damage. Maybe I'll survive. Didn't quite work out. And Duplin is forced to go for a big old leap charge after Lightspath goes for a full and slow on him. Still holding on to Bop and Bubble. Bop coming out early with a safe to no, not safe to trinket. That just looks like a safe to trinket. But it is an Absorbatron. But Lightspath does get his defensive up and running a little bit early. Does get a slow into Duplin again. Duplin didn't pop too many cooldowns. Looks like he has his major ones, the long ones, still available. Lightspath is going to bail all the way to the other side of the room and get a bunch of flashlights. 33% dampening. This is going to be a game against time for Duplin. Playing against his own cooldowns, playing against everything just now. Hodge coming down to Duplin, trinkets out of it with a Blade Storm onto Lightspath. Lightspath is going to go for wings, trying to get the setup, big old holy power damage. Bubble coming down, wants to make sure he's bubbling and bopping himself early so he can get some damage into Duplin. Duplin going to bail out of this, still holding on to hate and rage regeneration. Lightspath without a trinket with only Shield of Vengeance. Duplin has Enraged Regen at 35% dampening. Is this doable? I guess time will tell. Gonna go for a big old charge heal. Not a lot of healing he's getting out of that Enraged Regen. That's gonna be a big old Shield of Vengeance. Duplin used to get the heals off of it. Is gonna go for a Mally. Reflect coming down right now, and Duplin does go down to the damage that a Paladin puts out. Simply way too much damage that a Paladin puts out in a single go. Are you on A or EU? Right now we're in EU for a bit. Insanity. Right now we're a bit on EU, man. Need a group, if you guys want to make one, more than welcome to. More than welcome to. The reason I'm on right now on EU, might not be able to do any EU duels Friday. We'll see. It's kind of like a long story, but I'm basically going to be out of town. More or less.